Episode 1. A Mendacious Queen. Anyone who urinates in a stream should be warned, because any of his relatives may drink from the water. Kenyan proverb. I couldn't speak. All of the shit Ollie was saying cut me to the bone. He hated me. He hated my family. I wish I never fucking met you. Meeting you fucked my life up from day one. Say something, bitch. He yelled and slapped his palm on his thigh. I wanted to speak so badly, but I had nothing to say. Okay, since you can't find SHIT to say, I'll read some more before I leave your dirty ass up here forever. Forever. The word forever stood out to me and made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. What do you mean to leave me up here forever? I didn't do shit to deserve this. I'm sorry, baby. I was telling the truth when I told him I loved him. I loved Ollie more than I've ever loved a man. I loved him more than my own father, who told me that no matter what I did, Ollie would never be mine. Zika, that man's heart doesn't belong to you, my father Omar said often in an exasperated tone. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000,000 babies by him. A man will eventually leave and go search for the woman who has his heart. Hear me when I say it to you, Zika. It's not you who has his heart, and you never will. He said this to me after I had Taj, and again after I had AJ. My father was holding my son, AJ, when he repeated it. One day, Zika, Ollie going to find a woman that he loves, and it's gonna kill you. Make sure you're listening to me, because the day that Ollie figures out that neither of my grandkids are his children, you're going to remember that I warned you that it was coming. All things that are out of alignment with God's will. And this deceitful mess you have with Ollie will eventually crumble. I was shocked. Dad, why would you say that? He ignored me and kept speaking. This relationship with Ollie is not blessed by the Orishes. Therefore, darkness will destroy it. Goodbye. Daughter, my father said as he handed AJ to me. He kissed me on my forehead and stared at me with tears in his eyes, then turned on his heels and walked towards my front door. Everything is well, Daddy. Relax. Ollie won't find out if we stop talking about it. My father stopped in his steps and with his back still turned said, Who is AJ's father, Zika? He stood there with his back turned. Can you turn around and talk to me, at least, Daddy? He sighed and began speaking. Zika, do you remember the story of EGUN and Oya? I sighed aloud and laid AJ in his bassinet. He continued, You know that Oya and EGUN were married, and Oya was a terrible wife to EGUN. Even after all that EGUN had done for Oya, she still cheated on him with Shango, his arch-nemesis. When EGUN and Oya broke up, Oya resumed her sordid relationship with Shango, who truly loved only Asha, and Shango married Ashin. He said and took a deep breath. Shango also married Obanani and 17 other women, but he never married Oya. Zika, you are not the Ashun of Ali's life. You will always be Oya to him, Zika. I heard the conversation playing over and over in my head as Ali crushed every piece of the spell work. I should beat your motherfucking ass the fuck up on this roof, Ali said as he looked down at me. He leered at me for about 10 seconds and then started reading again, but this time he mimicked my voice. March 14th, 2021. My daddy was the only person who could affect my behavior and make me reconsider doing evil ass shit to people. So when he was killed by a bus while crossing the street, I took it to mean that he was taking my secrets with him to his grave. I told my daddy damn near all of my business, so I guess I can count myself lucky that he's gone. Am I sad? Yes, but at least I ain't gotta worry about him talking about this shit with Ray and Ollie. This nigga is so full of himself that he demands that everybody calls him fucking Messiah. He doesn't know niggas be clowning his dumb ass. A messiah of what? Chaos and confusion? Ha. The only real reason I'm still with Ollie, he said and put inflection on his words, is because of these spells. And once they wear OFF, I'm out. Maybe I can reconnect with Ray and we can start over. Ollie slammed the journal and tossed it, trying to hit me in the face with it, but I caught it and laid it down next to me. You don't ever listen, do you? I told your goofy ass about writing shit down. Now look at you, caught up by your own fucking words. He picked up another journal, squatted in front of me, and said, So, tell me the truth, Z. Is Ray my kid's real daddy? Huh, Z? What about this motherfucker in your stomach right now? Is that raised nut or mine growing in your dirty ass womb, bitch? I sat staring him in the face, still silent. No, they're not Ray's kids. They're yours, Ollie. All of them. I figured there was no point in keeping up the charade surrounding his name since he had just read aloud my thoughts regarding his moniker. Ollie stared back at me and didn't blink. That darkness that was in his eyes had gotten darker, and I couldn't read his energy beyond the rage emitting from his aura. I wrote that shit when I was mad at you, because I had found out you was back in contact with that Yomi bitch. Is that what this is about, Ollie? That bitch? Ollie dropped his gun, then grabbed me by the throat and bashed my head into the wall behind me, then stood up with his hand still wrapped around my throat. He had lifted me to my tiptoes while squeezing the hell out of my neck. Bitch, this shit is about you. All of this shit is because of you. He banged my head against the wall again and squeezed his hand around my throat tighter. Stop. Stop. I squeaked and tried to free his grip from around my neck. He grunted and screamed as he applied more pressure around my neck by adding his other hand. I began to swing my arms and hit him, hoping he'd let go because I was starting to black out. He dropped me to the ground, leaned against the wall on his forearms, and breathed heavily. I gasped and choked for air as I lay on the ground. The silence between us was covered by our heavy breathing and sirens on the horizon. As I struggled to catch my breath and focus my thoughts, I saw them. At first they were holding hands, but when they noticed me looking up at them, they disappeared. I blinked my eyes and pushed myself onto my back and stared at the sky. Small beads of rain began to fall from the sky and coat my face. Ollie was still propped against the wall in silence. Spirit, I need you to fix this for me now. I love this man with my heart and soul, and I'ma kill myself if he leaves me. I thought as tears formed and rolled from my eyes. I'm sorry, Ollie, I whispered. I wasn't sure if he had heard me until I heard him begin to laugh. Bitch, you got to be out of wild fucking mind, he said in a low, menacing tone. My fucking life is over because of you. I missed everything God had for me because I chose you. I killed niggas for you. I cut my people off for you. I did ill shit because of you for you. Do you love me, Z? He said sarcastically and picked up the journal from beside me and began to read again. April 28th, 2020. Thank you, Spirit, for the pandemic. This nigga ain't left my side since March, and now I'm pregnant with his child. I hope it's a boy so I can really wrap Ollie around my finger. He paused while reading and said, You was excited about that COVID shit, huh? Low down ass bitch. You even wrote the shit in all caps. So I know your trifling ass meant every fucking word of this shit. To be continued.